Radar display has been showing you the heavy thunderstorm that is coming through Lexington. That storm has been heavy enough that we've experienced rain fade. So any of you who have a satellite receiver know that rain can affect those signals. And so once we reestablish with NBC, we will go ahead and get you right back to the Indy 500. Grant, I know you're listening in back, so Grant's in the control room. When these storms, or when we reestablish with NBC, go ahead and give me just a heads up over our loudspeaker here in the studio, and we'll toss it back to NBC. But again, this line as it came through produced strong winds in Lexington. I was actually outside as the squall line came across, and the wind was strong enough that it knocked the door out of my hand as it hit. I did not see any shear at that particular time. When the storm was passing overhead here on the north side of Lexington. We're watching that new cell developing out ahead. That's going to be near Avon. So again, just to reiterate what we've got going on here for you, we do have basically a squall line severe thunderstorm warning. And remember, there's a tornado watch basically from I-64 south. So it's Harrison County where the storm is still approaching you, Scott County where the storm is now, and that's going to be east of I-75. Bourbon County, the storms are just now entering Bourbon County on the western part. Paris, the storms will be near you shortly. Fayette County until 1:15 with the heaviest of the cells now running essentially from Newtown Pike down to Harrodsburg Road. The leading edge has the strong gusty winds on the front edge of all that. We are continuing to monitor that area that's just out in front. Real quick on the velocities, just to check, and ironically tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the Masterson Station tornado from 2004. So we are again watching all this for you. We have not established NBC connection yet, so once we do, we will send you back to Mike Tirico and everybody there up at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we're sitting here at 111, and that's your velocity display. So we're watching that squall line, that strong wind on the leading edge, and it's now past Nicholasville. It's getting into the northern part there of Madison County. Quick check off the Louisville radar, and again, we're getting a little bit of rain fade here, a little bit of attenuation because it's raining exceptionally hard on our radar dome. So that's the extent of the squall line, and it's at the apex of the bow, right in here, where we've been watching real carefully. There's a little bit of an inflow notch. So again, there's a lot of features going on with this particular cell. Looks like warnings have been extended to the east. So again, Harrison County now severe thunderstorm warning until 2 o'clock. Nicholas County severe thunderstorm warning until 2 o'clock. Bourbon County severe thunderstorm warning until 2 o'clock. Clark County until 2 o'clock. Fayette County now a severe thunderstorm warning until 2 o'clock. Madison County, the storms are just now approaching I-75. So on the west side of Richmond, you guys are getting in on that toward Duncannon, almost to Berea. And then that bow echo continues on to the south, eastern part of Lincoln County until 2 o'clock for the severe thunderstorm warning. Other severe thunderstorm warnings until 1:45. Rockcastle, Jackson, Laurel, and Pulaski. The storms are now in northern Pulaski County near Science Hill. They've passed by Eubank. They're just now approaching Somerset. Again, Grant in the back. Once we get NBC back, take the Indy 500 here. So again, they're expecting rain up there as well. So this is going to, the first wave, it will likely be a couple of them for us today. There again is your big picture look as we go to the Max Track Live. We're also in a shorter radius that we're looking at here because we're in our Doppler mode so that we can give you the details on the storms. But again, still heavy rain falling on the northern part of Lexington here. Where the strongest winds are likely to be is right here on the edge of that bow. So it's still a few miles away from Paris. It's going through eastern Fayette County now, around Avon, continuing down to around Athens, getting back to Clay's Fair. Again, raining hard there at this point. The rain does taper off to the west, but again, you've got essentially what's a jet stream. That's a little rear inflow jet coming right in there, and that's what's causing that little notch that you see. And so that's one of the areas that we will look at for possible storm structure. We're looking at some shear earlier from these storms about 15-20 minutes ago when they were in Jessamine and Woodford counties. So that is our display, and again, you're seeing the velocities. Put back the reflectivity. Okay, nothing going on there just yet. So again, you got a little bit of a spin, northern Bourbon County. I'm still watching where that inflow jet is going in. Remember, we're showing that right in here. I think you can see the impingement going right there. So that is what we are watching. Right now, there are no tornado warnings. There is a tornado watch. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place. So again, here's what the reflectivity looks like. There is your updates for the storm that's coming out of Fayette County. I'm not sure it's moving at 60 miles an hour. That's probably just picking up one of the wind vectors in there. But again, you're seeing the communities that'll be impacted here over the next 15 minutes through Paris at 126 from that particular cell. So that is your big bow that is coming on through, where damaging wind gusts are certainly going to be a potential. Looks like we had a little bit of a cell merger ongoing as well with what had developed out in front by Elmendorf there. So again, this is one of the areas that we're going to watch. So we're getting into the southern part there of Bourbon County. It's headed toward North Middletown. It's again at the Fayette-Bourbon County line. There we go. So I'm just doing a quick look with you here. Again, we're waiting to get our signal back with NBC. Bain, if you can run back just to see where we are on a status with that. So again, that's the storm that you see there. When we're looking at shear, again, we're getting some decent shear eastern Fayette County out of that. We're looking off of Louisville real quick. So yeah, that storm by Elmendorf is showing quite a bit of shear at this point. So that is what we are watching. If nothing else, there are strong straight line winds in association with this. So again, it is a severe thunderstorm warning regardless. And you're seeing right in there, let me grab that pixel. We're seeing an increase in the wind. Now, this is going to be several thousand feet up, but that's showing an 80-mile-an-hour wind, but that's well off the surface. NBC is back. All right. So with that, remember the severe thunderstorm warnings remain in place. Tornado watch until 4 o'clock. More storms will be arriving for us later tonight. So keep it here on LEX-18. Stay weather aware, and we now send you back to the Indy 500.
31-year-old Swedish driver Felix Rosenqvist, the NTT data on board. Look how he's is the man on the move.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Mack. We'll get you back to the Indy 500. They're in a rain delay up there as well. We have been watching this squall line as it has progressed across the area from east to west. What we've also seen now are numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, but now we have a tornado warning going across southern Kentucky at this point. So this tornado warning is for the northern part of Whitley County until 2:15. You're also looking at the southern part there of Laurel County until 2:15, and then a good part of Knox County until 2:15. This is a tornado warning for a storm that is located, it looks like pretty close to Corbin at this point. We can actually look at the shear where the storm is, and again, that's sitting just about over Corbin, where we're picking up, again, rotation aloft with this storm. You folks in northern Whitley, southern Laurel, and Knox counties, you guys need to be in shelter now as this storm is coming at you. So as we look on our velocity displays, again, you're seeing that coming in there right around Corbin. We're seeing that increase there by Wilton, by Gray, and then the back flow coming in here around Corbin. So again, you can see we have a rotation going on with this cell down here at Corbin. So there is your rotation right in there coming up on Gray and Arkell. Wilton, again, is very close to this as well. But Corbin, Gray, Arkell, you guys are the first ones in line for this. So this is a tornado warning for Knox County and for folks in Laurel County, 2:15, and extreme northeastern parts of Whitley County. That is a tornado warning until 2:15. So that cell, again, has shown rotation. It is, again, it's a radar indicated tornado that we're seeing with this. Trying to get the there's your radar. So you've got essentially what's going on here is you've got a jet stream, mid-level or a little low-level jet going right in through here. You see how that's bowing out there toward Arkell? At the same time, you can see there's an inflow coming in there back around Corbin. So that is your shear area right around Gray. Again, this is a tornado warning for folks there in Knox County, southern part of Laurel County until 2:15. So again, this is essentially very close to Corbin, maybe just a shade east of Corbin at this point. So with this cell, again, you need to be in cover. So for folks there in gray, you guys are the next ones in line. There again, you can see the reds and the greens there, right over Moore Hill. So this is coming up on Highway 25 there. So again, just to the east of Corbin, that's where you're likely getting the little bit of an inflow jet going in. So it's over Moore Hill. It's going to be headed toward Gray. Fletcher, Crane Nest, again, you guys are in the path for this cell as well. Bain, what's the speed on this? Okay.
This is only at 35 miles per hour right now.
Okay. So it gives you a ballpark where the storm is going to be. Gray at 154, Fletcher at 159, Crane Nest comes up at 205, Tedder's 206, Girdler at 208, Hinkle 210, Woolham at 211, Hammond 217, and then you look at Lincoln at 219. So again, this storm is indeed showing a pretty good shear, good signature on that between Corbin, Wilton, and Gray is where, again, you're seeing that rotation. There's an update on the shear markers. So again, this is coming from the Weather Service office in Jackson. Our max track is in Doppler mode, which limits the distance that we can see with it, and so we start to lose some of the southeastern counties. But that's where we can just go over to the radar service, or Weather Service radar there out of Jackson. So again, for that cell, and you're seeing it going on. See if we can get rid of those things there for you. There we go. Up above Campground, again above Gray. So again, we're seeing the bowing out there by Gray. With that, the velocities slowing down there, speeding up there. So that's what when you're looking at just regular velocity. You're not looking at storm relative. So the storm relative basically puts math in the equation, takes the storm motion, and is able then to figure out the rotation with that. This is looking at just raw velocity with this. And so what you're seeing is slow here, because that's all the radar sees. It's either moving toward the radar or away from the radar. It's not actually seeing the rotation. So where it's slow here, fast here, and this is all coming toward. So that, and again, implies your rotation. So then let's put the math to it with storm relative. And again, very close to Gray and Campgrounds. So this is going to be south, well south of the Hal Rogers Parkway at this point. But you're looking at Boring. Fletcher and Gray are the communities that you're next in line. Campgrounds, actually, the storm looks like it's now slightly past you. So this storm is part of that larger line. Again, seeing some of the communities here. Gray, again, and Seiler are very close to where this circulation would be. Now, with this type of situation, these are very quick spin-up storms in general. They don't have a lot of longevity to them, and so, you know, it's a half hour's worth of warning, but it may not last that long. Let's go ahead and try and get... yeah, go ahead, Bing.
Bill, we have another tornado warning in Bell and Whitley.
Yep, I just saw that pop up there, too. So, again, this is... You are now down at the edge of our viewing area. There's Pleasant Hill, I think is the school down there, down by Jellicoe. So now you're getting into Tennessee. But there is, again, another tornado warning for that one. You're seeing some of the communities. Again, this is the far southeast corner of Kentucky where we are looking at that tornado warning that is in place. So Frakes, rain, moving from Whitley into Bell counties with the cell, again, to the north. So let's reorient you on all of these here. Again, your tornado warnings are in place. The big picture, you've got an extensive area of severe thunderstorm warnings for the line that's now basically beginning to straighten out. It had a bow shape earlier, so this line is beginning to straighten. So the overall widespread threat maybe, but there are pockets in here. For you folks in Stanton, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning there in Powell County. That's getting right about to a slate at this point. This is moving in on Campton. So folks there at the Gorge, you guys need to be getting into shelter there at the Gorge. For folks that are on Cave Run, the storms are still off to your west, but they are coming. And you are going to see strong winds getting to Cave Run Lake there in the next little bit. You see some of the communities over the next 15, 20 minutes or so, including Slate Valley at 207, Olympia 206, Owingsville at 203 from that cell. So that, again, is one of the ones that we are looking at for you. The severe thunderstorm warnings do continue. And again, you're seeing that little bit of a bow right in there. So that tells you you've got part of a jet stream coming in there, a little bit of a rear inflow coming in, or a little bit of a notching going in there just north of London. And then it gets us back down to the tornado warnings at the southern part of this line, with a storm that's now past Corbin. So Corbin, you guys are out of danger from this cell. But again, it's now getting into Knox County. So this again is your tornado warning for Knox until 2:15, and the extreme southern part there of Laurel County also until 2:15. Whitley County, the storm has exited out of Whitley County as well. So this is a storm that was indeed showing rotation. We can bring that back up here for you. Still showing it here around Corbin, just to the east there of Corbin. Gray, Campgrounds, and Arkell, again, still the communities where this cell seems to be hanging around at this point. Your shear is showing up there between Gray and Campgrounds. Crane Nest would still be in the path. Girdler, it's on a path probably toward you, maybe a little bit north. So is that, again, you're looking in Knox County for that warning until 2:15. Our storm relative display again showing it's a decent circulation now approaching Crane Nest, McHargue, there's Fletcher right there. So that again is where we are seeing it's still a fairly broad circulation on this. So we really haven't watched this one tighten up a whole lot, but there is definitely shear. Definitely a rotation within that cell. The question is how tight and how much of it's actually breaching the ground. With that said, you do treat every warning seriously, and with it we talk about the sea duct method to stay safe. And with it, you close all the interior doors. You want to be downstairs. When you close the interior doors, you're compartmentalizing your house. You don't want it to be wide open where the wind can just sweep through and knock the walls out. So by compartmentalizing, closing bedroom doors, bathroom doors, hallway doors, closet doors, all of these things, you can compartmentalize things. And so you don't get just the airflow that goes all the way through. That can help potentially mitigate damage in a worst case scenario. You want to be downstairs, lowest level you can, basement if you got it, ground floor if you don't. Be under something heavy and sturdy. Heavy table, if you can get underneath that, underneath a staircase, something that's strong and is able to withstand some force. So a staircase in the middle of the house. Center, again, that's being in the middle of the house. Don't be on a wall that has a window to the outside. Make sure you're in the middle of the house and keep away from those doors and windows where you can have that flying glass. So again, that's for folks that are in Knox County at this point. And we're right there at the, looks like the Laurel and Knox County line. So that's where we're seeing the tornado warning for another 20 minutes is how long this warning is going to last. I suspect it'll that they may discontinue it before then. Maybe another circulation going on the other side of Barberville. So there is your setup for these. Let's see if we can get the bring my little. Stop that. Start this. I'm trying to find what brings the air. Oh, we had it for a second. Try it one more time. I need to get my menu back up here. Lost that, lost that. It's supposed to be under the LEX-18. There, success. So there we go. So again, we'll get you to the other severe thunderstorm warnings here in just a second. So that, we got Bain, remind me to make that bigger. It's all of a sudden, it's the roadhouse of menus. So trying to get bring it to the Jackson radar again. Here we go. So again, we'll reiterate everything for you here. Crane Nest, you guys are the ones who are going to be the next in line for this rotation coming through. Fletcher, it's probably really windy, but again, if there's any rotation with this that's reaching the surface, it's going to be just to the southwest there of Crane Nest. Sproul, Gibbs would be in the path as Girdler, going to be close. So again, with your tornado warning there. Remember, with these displays, you've got toward and away is what the radar is seeing. So that's going away from the radar site there at Jackson. This is coming toward. So what do you have there? You've got a counterclockwise spin. And so at least aloft, there is a broad rotation there that is showing up. When we bring the radar display back up. Interesting. So let's go ahead and bring this back out. Again, we got the tornado warning also for southern Whitley County, and that storm is to the east of I-75. So again, we are at the far southeast corner of the viewing area with that. So you folks in southern Whitley County, you've got a tornado warning there as well until 2:15. If there's any shears that are popping up here, we're on the higher end of the week that's showing up. So again, we're not necessarily getting a good tight circulation showing up with these. Any word from Jackson if they're going to discontinue this at 2 o'clock by chance?
I haven't heard anything quite yet. We are starting to expire a couple of thunderstorm warnings.
Okay.
Other than that, that tornado warning's still in place right now.
So that's where we are right now. You got the 2 tornado warnings, the southern tier of counties east of I-75 for both of these warnings, one primarily in Knox County, one for eastern Whitley, and getting into Bell County. Bell County is technically not in our viewing area, so you also have this one solid squall line. So you can take your severe thunderstorm warnings, Rowan County until 2:15. With that cell, let's go ahead and get that stuff off. So again, Bath County until 2:15 with the storms going through now. In fact, we can go ahead and we'll take you all the way down. From Maysville, where are these storms now? Maysville to Flemingsburg. They are getting ready to go into the eastern part there of Fleming County. But you folks in Flemingsburg have the worst of this storm coming by you. Owingsville, you've had the worst of the storm come by in about the last 10 minutes. Not quite to Cave Run yet, but you see Slate Valley there, Olympia, where you're seeing that big transition, where it goes from nothing out here to the bright reds over just a few miles. That indicates that you've got very strong winds. So what you're going to see with that is a shelf cloud coming in. So you folks in Olympia and Olympia Springs will be seeing that shortly. Salt Lake, you'll be seeing it also in the next couple of minutes. You've got Cave Run here. So the storms haven't gotten to Cave Run yet. So if you've got friends who are out there on Cave Run, get a hold of them. Tell them to get to Safe Harbor. They should have done that when the warning came out, because hopefully they were carrying their Storm Tracker weather app that would have advised them that the warning was in place. Frenchburg, the storm is just getting to you now. So again, in Frenchburg, you're likely seeing that shelf coming right on in. Mariba, you're going to see that coming along 460 there. Then the angle's back to the southwest. So it's at that little bowing right in there where you're going to likely see some strong winds as well. Glencairn, as you look at there, right there at the Powell-Wolf County line, seeing the storms just now getting into the gorge. So again, you got friends in the gorge. Hopefully they've gotten their warnings. If not, give them a holler. Tell them to get to a shelter as quickly as possible. And their time is running out quickly to get to a safe shelter with these storms moving in. You also have severe thunderstorm warning for Estill and Lee counties until 2:15. Storms are just now getting into Lee County. So they're beginning to make that ascension going up into the mountains there into Lee County. Jackson County, McKee, you're right in the heart of the heavy rain at this point. The strong winds likely have already passed by you, headed out toward Elias with the strong winds with that down toward Anvil. You folks in Green Hill, again, you're seeing again the heavy rain at this point. The strong winds likely have just come by. Again, these are passing just south of Anvil at this point. Island City there in Owsley County. So again, for that cell, you're seeing some of the communities that'll be impacted with that. Burning Springs at 2:15, looking into Clay County. Fall Rock, 219. Laurel Creek, 222. Island City, 224 there. So those are all severe thunderstorm warnings. Heavy thunderstorm has just gone by London, moving along the Hal Rogers. That's going to be not far. I mean, it is pouring there along the Hal Rogers. That is also with some strong winds. So you folks there between London and Manchester are seeing that. So with the cell that we've been watching here, we'll bring you back to the tornado warning. Tornado warning for Knox County, 2:15, technically still southern Laurel County. So okay, there's your big picture on where the storm is. Now let's dive in. Let's see what we see. Let's go to storm relative velocity. So again, we're looking at that storm relatives. Okay, up there by Crane Nest. You see it? So again, it's still a fairly broad circulation. We've been highlighting Crane Nest here for you. So this is where the warning is. You folks in Barberville, you've got a heavy thunderstorm. You've got probably a severe storm. The tornadic part, if this storm is in the northern part of Knox County. Woolham, you guys are next in line. So again, be in that safe spot in Woolham. So there again is your rotation near Crane Nest at this point in that tornado warning for Knox County. So we highlighted just a second ago what you do. Maybe a little better description is, let's give you a diagram here. on how to find your safe spot. We're going to leave the menu up this time. Where you want to be is the basement if you can. If you've got one, that's where you need to be now if you're in the northern part of Knox County. Now, if you don't have a basement, you are looking at your house. Here's your schematic. You want to be in the middle of your house. A bathroom is a great place. It's got the plumbing in the walls, which actually help to reinforce the strength there. In this setup, a secondary area could be one of those closets right in there in the middle of the house as well. And remember that you are indeed trying to minimize or mitigate the damage, so close all of those doors. That's your overall setup. If you're in a mobile home, that is not a safe place to be. They've updated the tornado warning. So we've pulled, looks like we've pulled Knox and Whitley out of that initial tornado warning. So now your tornado warning continues for the eastern part there of Knox County until 2:15. And again, specifically, we are looking right about Woolham at this point for that cell. If it's tornadic, that's where it's going to be. So again, we're looking at the shear right there around Crane Nest, right around Woolham. So again, getting to that bright, so we're at the top end of the weak shear. We're not necessarily indicating this is going to be a strong system. And with these types of cells, they're not big, long track tornadoes. These things can tighten up quickly, drop down, create damage, and then bounce right back up again. But the warning itself goes for another 10 minutes. For those waiting for the Indy 500, we will get you back to that. They were in a rain delay when we started this. I'm not sure if they still are or not. But we will get you to it as soon as we can. So again, your tornado warning is flashing there north of Barberville in Knox County for a storm.
And Bill, they just
Canceled the tornado warning in Whitley County, so that one
The
is
southern
done.
Whitley County?
Yes.
Okay. So that one that's going on into Bell, so it continues into Bell County though, yes?
Yes, it will be continuing into Bell.
So that again, that's technically out of our viewing area down here in Bell County until 2:15 for that warning. So the warning that we have in place, the tornado warning, is Knox until 2:15, and it's for areas north of Barberville. So again, we're giving you the highlights of where this is. And again, Lexington, we had the storm roll through about half hour ago, and it came through with 50-mile-an-hour winds. So certainly getting to that severe criteria. They've just issued a severe thunderstorm warning now. It looks like it's going to replace the tornado warning here in the next little bit. So they have not replaced it yet, but there's going to be, that's continued as a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like that storm now is actually getting almost into Leslie County. That's into Clay County, sorry, my bad. Getting into Clay County there, Lincoln and Ogle. But Woolham, the storm is pretty much over you, although we're beginning to lose some of the rotation on this, certainly. And again, not showing anything terribly impressive. But that, again, just a broad rotation is showing up here. We'll take it one more scan when they bring that in. Shear is showing up now, crossing from Knox County into Clay County. And again, it's now getting east of Crane Nest, basically over Woolham, passing by Spruill. And when you're looking at the storm relatives, it's a broad circulation. The reds and greens aren't next to each other. There is a distance. So if you were under this, in heaven you should not be doing this, but if you were under it looking up, you might see clouds moving in different directions, but it's on a broad scale. Maybe a few miles wide at this point is what we are looking at. So that is your overall picture. And again, it's now just kind of immersed within the whole big line itself. So looks like what happened is the rear inflow jet basically caught up to everything and is kind of spinning it out. You're going to look to see if there's going to be any redevelopment now into Clay County with this. London, Corbin, Williamsburg, everything's past you. It's rain at this point, probably windy as well. Quite a bit of lightning is going on with this. Anything new, Bain?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So again, your warnings are now all basically east of I-75, or at least the severe storms are all east of I-75. We're getting a lull now in Lexington after the storms roared through a little while ago. But again, we'll take you from top to bottom as we're approaching the end of this warning. So you go from Maysville to Flemingsburg. Again, these are all severe thunderstorm warnings. So severe thunderstorm for Fleming until 2:15, for Mason until 2:15. Rowan County, the storms are just now getting to you, so this will be extended outward in time since we are just now getting. So Rowan until 2:15. Storms are just now approaching Cave Run Lake. Bath County until 2:15 for that particular severe thunderstorm warning as well. So we are looking at these storms as they continue progressing toward the east and doing so at a pretty rapid rate. So again, Fleming County, Rowan County, Bath County, the storms are still, especially Rowan County, the storms are still coming at you. We look then to the south toward Menifee County as well as toward Stanton, and we are looking at these particular storms out there. So we are going to wrap these things up here for you in the next couple of minutes. We'll get you back to the Indy 500. And so Mount Sterling, again, the storms have passed by you as we look into Bath County, Menifee County. There again, you're seeing that storm. Powell County, the storms are coming right up on the gorge now. So again, we've told you to give your friends, if they're out there, give them the heads up. The storms are coming up there right around Slade. They're just now getting ready to move in on Beattyville and Boonville, where we also have severe thunderstorm warnings, 2:15, and these will be extended out in time, especially when you look out toward Breathitt County. The storms won't be there at 2:15. Clay County, the storms coming in on you at this point. The tornado warning, as we are looking in Knox County, has an expiration time of 2:15. We're going to zoom in one more time here, and if we don't see anything, we're going to get you back a little early here. So again, near Hammond, yeah, this has spun itself out. Up around Ogle is where you're seeing a little bit of shear. So we are... Yeah, there's a very broad, weak circulation between Lincoln and Ogle in Clay County. So with that, technically the warning runs for another 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and set you back here to NBC's coverage of the Indy 500. Stay weather aware. More severe weather is going to be a possibility later on, but this severe thunderstorm line will continue progressing to the east. But for many of us, things will calm down through the rest of this afternoon. Thanks for keeping it here on LEX 18. Here's the Indy 500.
Going to pass you on the next lap. It's just like the Peloton. Think team cycling in